I heard it on the radio on my way back home that I'm gonna be someone. I guess it was a song they wrote saying don't go slow cause you're gonna be someone. They were singing hallelujah, hallelujah. I heard it on the radio on my way back home. Some days I don't think my mama thinks I'm good enough to be a superstar. But one day I will show her I'm a diamond in the rough, I'll be a superstar. Cause there's a crown covered in glitter and gold. I'm gonna wear it, whether you like it or not. Yeah, there's a crown covered in glitter and gold. I'm gonna wear it, whether you like it or not. And I'll be singing halle, 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 hallelujah. Halle, hallelujah, whether you like it or not. Yeah, I'll be singing halle, 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 hallelujah. Halle, hallelujah, whether you like it or not. Halle, 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 hallelujah. Halle, hallelujah, whether you like it or not.
Good morning to you all. I am tickled pink to welcome you to the 34th annual AIDS Walk Northwest. You are all fabulous people for joining us today and supporting Cascade AIDS Project. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Bolivia Carmichaels from Darcel 15 Showplace and CC Slaughter's Nightclub. Joining me to help welcome you is CAP CEO, Tyler Termier.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for kicking off your AIDS Walk morning with us. Before we move into our formal program, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the challenging times we are in the midst of right now in our world and region. This has been a tough year on many levels, and this last week has brought new heartache as fires have devastated our region. Our heart goes out to the many people struggling with destruction and loss, and we send our deep thanks to the firefighters and first responders for their incredible service. Some of you may have noticed that we have a new name this year, AIDS Walk Northwest. Since the walk started 34 years ago, the services CAP offers to our community have grown, and so have the areas we serve. CAP now offers programming throughout Portland metro area and Southwest Washington.
AIDS Walk Northwest. I like it. It represents our community, which is what the walk is really all about, bringing the community together to show support for CAP. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Hey, Tyler, speaking of warm and fuzzy, AIDS Walk Northwest has some incredible sponsors this year. Shall we recognize our generous supporters?
That's a great idea, Bolivia. I get the honor of thanking some of our dynamite sponsors for today's AIDS Walk. To start out, I'd like to announce our presenting sponsor, Nike. Let's take a look at this special message from Nike.
Hi, friends. My name is Bill Spigner. I'm with Nike. But it's also my honor and my privilege to say that I'm also a member of the board of directors at CAP. Today, I'm here to say thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for volunteering. And probably most importantly, to say thank you for all of your fundraising efforts. See, your donations will be key to helping us remove barriers and improving access to healthcare in our community. With your help, we're able to continue to provide testing, housing placements, along with prevention and educational services. For more than 20 years, Nike has helped sustain CAP as a funder, an ally, and a committed supporter in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Nike has donated more than $850,000. We've organized fundraising teams, volunteered hundreds of hours, and we've had a member of our staff on the CAP's board of directors for the last several years. Giving back remains true to our core belief that diversity and inclusion in sports makes the world a better place. So from all of us to all of you, thank you.
Thank you, Nike, for being a longtime community partner of CAP and AIDS Walk. Joining Nike, we have gold sponsor Genentech and VIP brunch sponsor, Great Clips.
Hey, speaking of the brunch, Tyler, you told me earlier this morning when we were getting ready that brunch was delivered to our top fundraisers to enjoy at home before they start today's walk. How cool is that?
Right? Our friends at Vibrant Table Catering and Events helped us come up with a great brunch delivery. We also want to give a special shout out to J. Wrigley Vineyards and Moonstruck Chocolates for donating special treats to include in our brunch boxes. And there are still more amazing sponsors to thank.
There sure are, Tyler. Our photo booth sponsor, U.S. Bank. Silver sponsors are On Point Community Credit Union and Gilead. Friends of the Walk, Kaiser Permanente, Rhodes Perry Consulting, The Standard, and Cedar Hills Hospital and Outpatient Services. Our in-kind supporters and sponsors are Bishop's, Hot Lips Pizza, J. Wrigley Vineyards, MAC Cosmetics, Moonstruck Chocolates, Morel Inc., Olympia Provisions, Porque No, Shebop, and Soda Express.
AIDS Walk Northwest would not be possible without the incredible generosity of our sponsors. Bolivia, let's raise a glass and give a big thank you to all of our sponsors.
Indeed. Tyler, I've been hosting the AIDS Walk stage for a number of years now.
AIDS Walk is more than just walking, though. The walk is about standing together, making a statement, and being advocates for our community.
So true. And Tyler, AIDS Walk also plays a critical fundraising role for CAP.
That's right, Bolivia. In the last decade alone, AIDS Walk has raised over $2.7 million to support our work at CAP. And today, we are hoping to bring that total to over $3 million.
That's incredible, Tyler. Oh, boy. Today is about walking and fundraising. Making a gift to support the walk or joining a team is as easy as this. You just pull out your phone. You open up your browser and you visit aidswalknorthwest.org. Click the pink donate button at the top. It's that easy. As an added incentive to get out your smartphones and make a gift, we have a special drawing for everyone who donates today on September 12th, 2020. Once you make a gift, you will be entered into a drawing for an amazing prize pack, including a vertical of fancy wine from J. Wrigley Vineyards, a gift basket from Olympia Provisions valued at $100, a $50 gift certificate to Shebop, a $50 gift certificate to La Provence, a $30 gift card to Flying Pie Pizzeria, a free haircut from Bishop's, and other assorted gift cards.
The generous dollars raised during this event fund CAP's mission to support and empower all people living with or affected by HIV, reduce stigma, and provide compassionate healthcare to the LGBTQ+ community and beyond. In a few moments, we are going to meet 3 special heroes of HIV, but first, we would like to share a bit more about who we are at CAP. Cascade AIDS Project is the oldest and largest community-based provider of HIV services in Oregon and Southwest Washington. We can't help someone living with HIV unless we help them address all of the things in their lives that are going to help them find stability.
CAP's housing practices a housing-first model, so you don't have to pass a drug test, you don't have to have completed a certificate of mental health engagement. It's really hard to operate if you can't even feel safe, because fear is such an insurmountable thing to live in.
CAP has a real ability to bring people together in a way that is phenomenal and supportive, and the AIDS Walk is a beacon of that work. And I was amazed by the collection of families and children and straight people and LGBTQ people and of any matter of color and persuasion at this walk. I'm grateful for the work that we do together.
Camp KC is a week-long children's camp for children ages 5 to 15 whose lives are affected by HIV and AIDS. The point of the camp was to erase the stigma. We realized this is the week they get to just take off that, mask and just let themselves be themselves. I learned through CAP that you can just be one person, but you can help so many.
Prism Health is serving over 1,200 patients through our primary care needs.
458 people are receiving short-term housing assistance.
Last year, CAP provided 3,345 HIV tests.
Over 1,000 people receive supportive services from CAP.
It just feels like a big family that comes together to support these folks who have been afflicted by HIV. That's the biggest thing that's nearest and dearest to my heart.
It's community, it's friends, it's family, it's nurturing. It's just a really special place.
So over the years, we have lost campers. We've lost campers' parents. It would be easy to just kind of say, this is too much for me. I just got to throw up my hands and walk away. To see that, that family connection, if they can do it, then I have to as well.
Now is our time. So please help CAP move in the right direction.
Help Cascade AIDS Project move in the right direction.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
We continue to evolve and transform each and every day. But that's not possible without our community. If our community tells us that they need us, we're gonna find a way to respond.
Established in 2014, the Heroes of HIV Awards recognizes individuals and organizations that have made a significant contribution to fighting the epidemic in our community. Past honorees include Portland Gay Men's Chorus, Representative Elisa Kinu-Geyer, On Point Community Credit Union, and Kathleen Sadat, among many others. This year, we are bringing the awards to AIDS Walk Northwest. Today, we are honoring 3 outstanding champions. Longtime CAP supporter and community partner Scandals is our first honoree. We are so grateful for their support through the years. Scandal was established in 1979 and is known as Portland's Gay Cheers. Over the years, Scandals has activated hundreds of volunteers and thousands of dollars for CAP through events and advocacy. Let's learn a little bit more about Scandal's community impact. Take a look.
The responsibility of Scandals is to share with the community brotherhood, sisterhood, all of those hoods.
Finding a space for all these he's and she's and z's and they's and, and trying to make sure everybody feels included. We've all got a space in here, for sure.
I guess growing up in a small town and kind of feeling very alone many times, the core value and the drive for me is that I don't want people to think that there's not a place for them. We've been in the Portland area for 41 years, and whatever walk of life that you're in, this is a great place to find people like yourself and feel very safe and comfortable. I want to figure out ways to give back to the community to make the community stronger instead of pulling apart.
Sometimes people ask me, why do we need gay bars anymore? Everybody's so accepted. And to me, what I've always liked about Scandals, and even just the point of a gay bar, is it's neat to be accepted, but it's important to be normal. And sometimes just being accepted isn't good enough. Some of the ways that Scandals supports and gives back to the community include our biggest fundraisers, New Year's Eve. We've called that Lavish. And in Lavish, what we try to do is support sort of a broader community. And in that, I mean children's causes, family causes, things like that.
We've raised basically over $300,000 back to the community in just small little events, and of course our big 3-day Pride event, Block Party. We've always donated what we could to many charitable organizations, including CAP, and for a lot of those fundraisers we try to think outside of the box and voyage not just within our own community, but explore and give to others as well. Because if you start singling out just a single community, it's not a community anymore, it's a singled out piece. We've been working with CAP even before Pride, but mostly during Pride, so probably a couple of decades at least. I think we walk hand in hand with their mission because back then in the 80s, when you contracted HIV or AIDS, it was a death sentence basically, and you were dying. And the pictures that were out there at that time, it always showed gaunt people that AIDS has taken over, and with CAP's help, I think the stigma has kind of faded away from that, and we've gotten away from those pictures.
Gay cancer, I didn't even have a name, it wasn't even acknowledged, but I was right on that cusp of it didn't exist to all of your friends are dying. And so for me, that would be my embrace of all that CAP does, is that we've come so far.
Let's get rid of that stigma so that we can move forward, because the fight's not over and there is not a cure yet. But in order to get to that point, you have to save people's lives in order to get to the end goal, which is the cure for HIV and AIDS.
Congratulations, Scandals, and thank you for all you do for our community. Before we introduce our next hero of HIV, we have a special message from Senator Jeff Merkley. Jeff Merkley has dedicated himself to fighting for opportunities for Oregon's families. He has served in our community as a nonprofit leader and as an elected official. Senator Merkley says, "The core place I come from is that ordinary people need a champion." Senator Merkley embodies that quote, and I am honored to introduce him. Please welcome Senator Jeff Merkley.
Greetings to everyone at Cascade AIDS Project and all those taking part in today's 2020 virtual edition of AIDS Walk Northwest. I'm Senator Jeff Merkley. Thank you for coming out in the face of an unprecedented COVID health crisis to continue supporting and fighting for those living with the highly challenging diseases, HIV and AIDS. For over 35 years, CAP has valiantly empowered all those who are living with or impacted by HIV by reducing the stigma that surrounds this disease and providing compassionate care. All of us as a society have been impacted in some way by this disease. For years, it terrified us. In the beginning, there were no treatments. In the beginning, those who contracted it were ostracized. Many lost their jobs, their homes, their friends, their families, any means of help and support that is so critical to dealing and living with a disease like HIV/AIDS. But thanks to doctors and scientists and to organizations like the Cascade AIDS Project, we have come a long way from those dark days. At the height of the AIDS epidemic, we were seeing 130,000 new infections. Today, that number has fallen by more than 2/3. And thanks to advances in antiretroviral therapies, life expectancy for those living with HIV has increased dramatically. The disease is no longer a death sentence for the more than 1 million Americans who are living with it today. And we now know much better the impact that broader social issues like access to affordable housing and the health disparities for communities of color have on people's ability to receive the quality care they need to live full and thriving lives, and for us to finally beat this virus. But despite the substantial progress that we have made in the fight against HIV and AIDS, progress that CAP has played an enormous role in, we still have a long ways to go. That's why this annual walk, raising awareness and support for this cause, is so vital. So thank you for participating today, and keep on fighting for all those whose lives have been impacted.
Thank you, Senator Merkley, for that inspiring message of hope. Earlier, we met our first Hero Award recipient, Scandals. Our second Hero honoree is Commissioner Joanne Hardesty. Commissioner Hardesty has been tirelessly working on issues such as police reform, affordable housing, and institutional racism, issues that directly impact the lives of the CAP community. She's a fierce advocate for equality and inclusion. She has frequently been supporting CAP at events, including AIDS Walk Northwest, and she embodies all that a hero is.
I think my life's work is really about answering the why question and making sure that at the end of the day, I've left this earth better than I found it. I am a kid of the 60s. I'm a child of the civil rights movement. And so as a child, I constantly saw images of people that looked like me being abused. And so as a kid, I remember just driving my parents batty. Well, why? Well, why are they putting police dogs on those people? Well, why, well, that's not right. That's not fair. And just like COVID-19, talk about repeating our history, right? Once again, it's been ignored because why? The people who are most susceptible are the ones that don't have power in our world. When I first got to Portland, the Oregon Citizen Alliance was hot and heavy and putting anti-gay measures on the ballot. And I was just absolutely appalled. I was like, who are these people and how do you let them take over the ballot? But when I went to work for Bev Stein at Multnomah County, my very first assignment was putting together the Ryan White Council for HIV/AIDS funding. This was the first HIV/AIDS money that was dedicated, that was coming directly into the county. That's when I first became aware of CAP. And in fact, CAP was part of the coalition that was fighting against the anti-gay measures as well. CAP's work is so important because everything that I do intersects with what CAP does. People who have been invisible until recently have been transgender Black women. And what we know is that they're dying at astronomical rates, and they're dying because people aren't caring. They aren't showing them the kind of care and support that they need. If people don't accept you as you are, then you are gonna have a really, really, really hard time. This is all of a sudden a brand new civil rights fight. CAP members, CAP supporters, all are reflected in these issues, whether we're talking housing people can afford to live in, whether we're talking access to quality, affordable health care, whether we're talking access to mental health treatment, whether we're talking employment opportunities. So it is clear that CAP has been vital over the years at really supporting people who honestly weren't getting support from anywhere else. But I certainly remember the early days where CAP was the only game in town, and the AIDS Walk was the only way to raise visibility of people who were living with HIV and AIDS. I walked in the Cascade AIDS March for at least a dozen years.
Who else could get us up this early on a Saturday morning, right? Right?
What I always loved was just the vibrancy, right? The aliveness of it, the beauty of the colors and pride and happiness of people that were participating. How wonderful we have come to a place now where HIV/AIDS is not a death sentence and that people live healthy, productive lives with HIV, but I credit CAP because quite frankly, without the advocacy, without the community organizing, we'd never gotten to the place where we'd have medications that would help people live full lives. And so I have always considered CAP a strong community partner, whether I was doing community organizing, whether I was down at the legislature, we always found ways to work cooperatively together. And I look forward to CAP and I working together to reimagine what community safety looks like so that all of our community can live safe and healthy lives.
Thank you, Commissioner Hardesty, for being such a tireless champion for our community. AIDS Walk Northwest is about our community coming together to support CAP, but that support starts with individuals. Individuals like Daniel Borgen. Daniel has been a walker and fundraiser for AIDS Walk since 1996. That's 25 years. Because of his leadership, Daniel has been the top AIDS Walk fundraiser for the last 8 years and has raised, get this, over $70,000. Daniel reminds us that anyone can make a difference for a cause they care about.
I think the core value that drives me is I believe deeply that if you have the ability to do something, you should do it. If you have the time, if you have the money, if you have the talent, you should use it to make your community a better place. I grew up in a very strict religious household, and when I think about how I learned about HIV and AIDS growing up. It was always a very negative message. Like in church, our pastors would preach about HIV and AIDS being, God's punishment for gay people and queer people. For me, when I learned about AIDS Walk through my employer GAP and my colleagues there, it was a way for me to really shift the narrative and kind of take back something that always terrified me growing up because I just didn't know much about it. I do remember that very cold September morning way back in '95, the first time I walked. I was blown away by the turnout, all of the businesses and the diversity in the crowd. People from like every walks of life, old, young, gay, straight, black, brown, white. AIDS Walk represented love, camaraderie, compassion. I have many friends who are living with HIV, and it's important for me to show up for them. And I think we would all love to live in a world where people don't have to take medicine every day to make sure they see tomorrow. It's hard to not think about the whole of our history when we're walking, and when I walk, I'm thankful for how far we've come, but I also recognize that we have a lot of work to do. My hope for the future is that one day we see 0 transmissions of HIV. I think it's important for people to show up so we continue to smash stigma. And so I come back year after year because I love Cascade AIDS Project. I love Portland. I love Prism Health. I cannot believe we have an LGBT-focused primary care center. I think it's amazing. Since I started my first walk in '95, the money I've raised has grown pretty exponentially, especially in the last 8 or 9 years. And in total, I believe I've raised upwards of $70,000. My secret to raising money is persistence and sometimes not taking no for an answer. For me, it's a mixture of emails, phone calls, text, Facebook posts, Facebook messages, follow up when somebody says they're gonna donate. Once they say yes, I follow it through to the end until I see that donation come in my email box. My sort of life philosophy is if you can do something, you should do something. So as long as I'm able to participate in change and activism, I'm going to. Seeing so many of my friends and family join the cause and join me at the walk, help me fundraise, I think that has meant a lot to me because I feel like I've moved from showing solidarity to really making a difference financially. And I think that's important to me. It's been very touching to see my family and friends come along for the ride.
HIV was one of the most challenging things that ever happened in my life, but also created one of the best platforms and the most rewarding experiences of my life because it taught me how to live again. In March of 2004, I was a college student and I tested positive for HIV, and my whole life changed. I found an amazing group of people working at a local AIDS service organization just like Cascade AIDS Project, and they helped me put my life back together. It was that moment that I realized that I would do anything within me to be a part of making a difference in the lives of others in my community in the ways that they did for me. In July of 1985, Rock Hudson was diagnosed with HIV, and it shook our country. He was the first very visible celebrity, visible face of the nation that changed people's perspectives on the virus. A few weeks later, AIDS Project Los Angeles decided that they wanted to bring the community together to bring awareness to the emerging epidemic. And that became the first AIDS Walk. It was an opportunity to help individuals raise awareness, to support one another in a time that was very dark, and to provide a pathway towards perhaps a hopeful future for what we might accomplish together. And that year, they forever changed the way that we looked at coming together as a community to raise money by walking for a cause. In 1987, the first AIDS Walk here in Portland, known as From All Walks of Life, started as an event where a few thousand people came together to raise awareness and funds for Cascade AIDS Project, and over time grew to one of the largest walks in the city with over 10,000 participants to wrap around one another with love and support during a dark time and walk towards a brighter future. Sometimes people ask us why AIDS Walk is still important. The walk is an opportunity each and every year for us to come together and be very visible, to be public about the epidemic, to show people that HIV is still a very real disease, that people are living with HIV and AIDS every day and thriving, and the ability for us to come together as a community to show the visibility helps reduce stigma in our fight to end HIV within our lifetime. CAP exists because we're an organization that believes in social justice and in racial justice. And with so much happening around us, it is a part of our mission to ensure that people living with HIV are thriving in and out of the pandemic. We recognize that people sit at the intersection of many different identities. People who receive services from CAP could be Black and transgender. And as a result of inequities that often happen in our community, and as a result of systemic racism, we need to play our part in being an anti-racist organization and in supporting our clients in whatever way will reduce the barriers they have to accessing healthcare. In the 17 years that I've been living with HIV, I have lost more friends and people I consider my chosen family than I can remember. I see their names and their faces flash before me as I do this work each and every day. And I think what gives me hope is knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that we have the power together as a community to raise the vital resources that are going to be necessary to fight this disease. And that one day we will all look back at HIV as a thing of the past.
This morning, you have heard from elected officials, met our 2020 heroes of HIV, and Tyler shared why AIDS Walk Northwest is more important today than ever before.
If you were inspired by what you saw today, please consider making a gift online at aidswalknorthwest.org. Remember, all gifts made today will put you in the running for that enticing prize basket.
We're about to do the warm-up part of our program, which I promise you don't want to miss. But first, we want to recognize our top fundraisers.
We have many AIDS Walk teams this year, but some have risen to the top. Here are the top fundraising teams. We have many walkers that have worked very hard to raise some serious money. Here are our top 5 individual fundraisers.
Tyler, it looks like you're ready to walk. Check out those heels, my goodness. And those legs. You've been already walking in them heels already, huh?
Oh, I'm excited.
Go ahead. All right, then.
And now it's time for Bolivia to lead us in our walker warm-up. After our warm-up, Bolivia and I will see you out there. Bolivia, what do you say? Let's get a little pep in our step.
Let's do it. Come on now. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and reach our hands up high. Let's reach them up high. Let's shake our hands, shake our arms, shake our busts, shake our butts. And we're gonna just start moving, okay? We're gonna reach out to the sides. Let's reach up over your head. The other hand, touch your knee or your thigh, or if you can touch lower, go ahead. Now reach to the other side. Reach up high and touch your knee with the other hand, the side of your knee. There you go. Let's go the other way one more time. Very good. Oh, you can feel that stretch right in here, right? Okay, and one more this way. Okay. Now let's reach up high. All right. Okay, we got the upper body stretch. Let's stretch out the bottom half, okay? Let's reach down to the left and reach down to the right. Reach down to the center. Okay, let's do the left again. Left and right. You should feel that on the back of your legs. Reach straight down in front of you. As low as you can go. Don't push, don't bounce. Just reach down. Okay, we've reached up, we've reached down. Now let's just start walking in place. And right, left, right, left, right, left. Let's go ahead and swing our arms a little bit. Yeah? Very nice. Let's swing them higher. Why not? Feels good, huh? Can you feel the burn, girls? All right, here we go. Let's swim and swim and swim. I'm making it up. I'm swimming. Swim up, swim down, swim up, swim down. I don't know. Let's stop swimming and let's start walking. What do you say? Y'all warmed up? Let's do it. Here we go. You're still here? We're supposed to be walking. Come on.